Welcome to another episode of Listen to Us Rant About Movies. My name's Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
And what we like to do is we rant about movies and we drink while we do it. Tonight, I'm drinking Motorworks Indie. It's an IPA. I thought it was Motorworks Indie. Sounded very appropriate to what we're going to be reviewing today, which is Logan Lucky.
For sure.
So what are you drinking, Zach?
Today I am drinking, switching it up a little bit in honor of good old Steven. And I'm drinking some Singani 63, which is his booze that he makes.
Director Steven Soderbergh's own booze. I wish I could have had access to this. It's not down here in Florida, but that's a good call.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's got to represent the Sod. You know?
Yeah, I had. They used to only have it in New York and LA, and I tried it. Sean actually ordered a bottle from New York, and then I did as well. And then he came here and brought it to Chicago. So I'm liking it.
Very nice, very nice. Well,
Yeah,
let's give it our official sip here.
Oh yeah. How's your brew?
I'm liking the IP. I like this IPA, man. It's tasty.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like IPA. Obviously, it's pretty hoppy, but it goes down smooth.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, super drinkable.
What's it? Who made it again? What brewery?
It's from Motorworks Brewing. They're from Bradenton, Florida.
Nice.
This is sitting at a 6.9%, so it's a little stronger too. Pretty decent. So, how's the Singani?
Loving the Singani. I should also note that I'm drinking it with some Topo Chico and lime. So made a little cocktail because I love Topo Chico, and it's pretty nice.
Dude, there you go. It's like your two faves in a drink form.
Totally.
You know? Which I was actually reading up on it, and you can mix it with anything, apparently.
Yeah, it's very mixable.
It's like margaritas, old fashioned. It's like goes with everything. It's like,
yeah, when he came to, I told you about when I met him, right? When he was in Chicago.
Yeah.
It was for when Singani was coming out. It was some like thing at the bar, some bar.
Promotional or something.
Yeah, and he asked me how I drink it. He's like, "How do you usually drink it?" Because I said I ordered it from New York and stuff. I was like, I just kind of drink it straight on the rocks. And he was like, "Oh, you gotta mix it, man." Like, it's all about mixing
His own drink.
Yeah, and
drink.
then he gave me a book of cocktail recipes for it, which is amazing.
It's so good.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really funny.
I can't wait to talk more about him and Steven Soderbergh, and maybe that experience a little bit more. But we've actually recently launched a Patreon page. If you're a fan of this show or even a newcomer, we already appreciate the time and years that you've put to just listening to this episode. But going to the movies and buying high-end craft beer and storing, quality audio files can get expensive. We've been doing this, and I forgot to mention this last time, Zach. We've actually reached, I think this is our second year.
Yeah.
Our third year, actually.
Damn, third.
Doing this show. We're going on 3 years.
Past the terrible twos,
Exactly. But we're going stronger than ever, and we really need your help, too, to keep storing all these files and keep producing quality episodes for you guys. So if you'd like to further support the show, please consider becoming a monthly patron for just $1, as little as $1, and that'll help alleviate the cost of producing this podcast.
Yeah. Let's toss some bones at us.
Yeah, toss some
if you're
bones.
feeling it.
Toss some yen at us.
Yeah.
Toss some
British pounds.
Yeah. You got some old coppers lying around. Just
come on.
throw them towards us.
Gather up your Sacagaweas and just give them a toss over here.
Yeah. So go to www.patreon, that's patreon.com/LTURAM podcast, and select the tier on the right that best suits your interests. Seriously though, just $1, guys. That it will go a long way. But we did just today. We reached our first goal, which is $10. We reached our first goal.
Very nice, very nice.
And Zach, you know what this means, right?
I do.
I'm gonna have to endure physical agony and torture and by watching a movie in 4DX. For those that don't know, 4DX, it's only been, I think there's a few in California and New York, but one just opened up in Orlando, and it's at a Regal Cinemas here. But basically 4DX, they put you through this experience of trying to place you in the environment, which sounds cool, but I've just heard all these horror stories. They like throw rain at you, like you get water on you. You're like you're moved around, like you can't hold a drink or eat food in this theater because you're like thrown around. There's like scents that are sprayed in your face and like air, and like they poke you and stuff. It's like
sounds amazing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to experience this before our next episode, and I'll talk about my experience. But thank you to Sean Pierce for getting us to the $10 point, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. It sounds like it's like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids ride.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's a lot like that.
Totally, it's hysterical.
Those like 90s 4D rides. It's gonna be like a ride.
Yeah.
But they always put it to like really shitty movies, you know. So if there's like another Transformers movie or something, I'm gonna have to endure it in the worst way possible. By being like physically assaulted. So that'll be interesting.
It'll be good.
Yeah. And if we keep getting money, our ultimate goal is $500. And if we get there, Zach is actually going to fly down here from Chicago to Orlando, and we're going to do a 4DX movie together, and we're going to record this experience and like kind of put together like some of the funniest moments and put it on the podcast.
It'll be good.
So that'll be hilarious and totally worth your investment because it'll be quite funny. So it would mean a lot to us. But for this episode, we're going to be discussing what we've been watching since about a month ago. It was the last episode. And then we're going to review Logan Lucky, the new film by Steven Soderbergh, followed by a separate spoiler segment.
A separate spoiler segment.
That's it. But before we get to the watch list, Zach, I can't believe we haven't discussed Game of Thrones.
The Thrones, yeah. I still haven't seen the newest one at this point, but
okay,
I've seen the rest of them.
Well,
I've heard some controversial things about the new one.
I feel like we can spoil up to. I was gonna say we could spoil up to where we are now, but you haven't watched the latest, so we won't. I won't say anything there. But I don't know. What I have my thoughts. What are your thoughts right now of this season right now?
I'm liking it. I do think there's some things that like I shouldn't care about, but are weird, like logistical things that happen in it. But
yeah,
like the whole we're just going out for spoilers right now.
Yeah, spoilers up to
like
what you've seen.
The whole concept of like them saying like this army's coming, we can't waste time, like we gotta be prepared, and then being like, oh yeah, but we'll just like pop up there and grab one of them and then come back. And it's like, how do you plan on doing that? Like that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It's like you're gonna journey all the way there, get it, journey all the way back, but then couldn't they like technically like be there by the time you get back because of all the time it took you to go do that? Like I don't know, that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a fucking stupid plan. It's
a pretty stupid plan. I was really enjoying it up to that point, but that was probably my biggest thing at this point. That just like, and just all the traveling places, like that huge battle happens, and it's like, okay, she rode there on the dragon, cool, and then like Tyrion just shows up, and it's like, oh, so he just like got there also, but like she showed up on a dragon.
they're like fast traveling through portals at this point.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty outrageous.
Clearly they're trying to like make it go faster so they can wrap this up, but I don't know. I feel like they're sacrificing what the quality of like what what we've enjoyed in the past, which is this is just like a savory show. You enjoy little bits of it. Someone described it on Twitter as it's like a steak. Like the show's usually like a steak. You savor it. There's spices on it, and it's just something you just enjoy, slowly and just really take it all in.
Yeah.
But now the show's kind of like popcorn. It doesn't quite fill you up. I'm happy. I'm eating popcorn. I like popcorn.
Yeah.
But I'm not like satisfied after,
It's not a meal. Popcorn.
It's not a meal.
It's not a meal.
It's not a meal.
But
so
I will say I do like that the pace of it. It just seems like there's so much that they're leaving out, like characters and stuff. It seems like part of it is good that they've like whittled it down, and then they're only. I think it's because they're just cross-cutting between so few people now. Because before it was like, you wouldn't see people for like 3 episodes. It's just like, what the hell's going on with that guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like that it's moving quicker, but.
Oh, you like that? You like that it's moving faster?
It's more satisfying, but I also like don't think it's as good. Like it's more satisfying to watch because like shit's happening, but
yeah,
it makes it distracting because of things like I was like, oh, he just like showed up. Okay, like that doesn't really make any sense. Like, what's with this plan? Like, it doesn't really make any sense. Like.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for you to watch the new one because
there's some more of that.
Yeah, there's more. Oh yeah, there's tons of that. But like even every episode so far, it's like they have a scene like, oh, we have to go somewhere, and the next scene they are there. It's like at least put something in between it.
Yeah.
It's like
a shot of them like on a ship.
Yeah.
Cut away and then come back. It's really weird.
It's like how I have no sense of time. Like, has it been months, years? Like how?
Yeah,
this was and it's like frustrating because they've built this world in my mind, and through 7 years of watching this show, of this is a gigantic world that feels real that they're living in, and now it's the last couple seasons, and it's like I don't know. It's just like pulling a rug underneath me. That world is like now an illusion. It just like feels off, and it's like this shouldn't take that long. Now it's not feeling as real to me. So that's a real unfortunate thing, but I think it's just something we have to accept. It's just something that we just have to accept because they're wrapping up the show, and that's fine. I'm accepting it. It's still weird. I don't think I feel like sometimes it's being used to develop poor writing.
Yeah, like I will say the dialogue especially has been particularly poor this season.
Yeah.
There's so many of the scenes are just like it's just like what? Especially the scene with Arya meeting what's his face, the pie boy again. And she just like sits there and she's like, I don't know, it's just like this doesn't feel like authentic to me at all. And also the scene where Bran's under the tree. That character is just like what happened there? Just a fucking creep.
Like, oh, I know.
Like
it's
they
just
didn't like I get the whole thing of like him changing, but like why is he also just like a creep? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just strange, but yeah, I mean, all this aside, I am still enjoying the show. Like I can't wait every Sunday, and I am enjoying it. And maybe it's a good thing they're ending it. Maybe it's a good thing that this is kind of. Because if it goes on any longer, it's like, oh man, this is gonna have the curse of Lost or something. It's just gonna be this shitty finale, and I don't want that. So.
Yeah, and they got to make that Confederate show, dude.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh, I think they want to move on to that.
It's fucking. I don't know about that one, man. It just seems like it's just a bad idea.
Well, the timing seems a little off right now.
This is like, maybe just like don't make that one. like you're coming off like the most successful show You know, like everyone
Yeah.
talks about. You can do anything you want. You want to do this like Confederate thing? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe just like skip that. Go on to the next thing.
I think the concept itself seems interesting because I like alternate history stuff. But yeah, it just that right now the timing is not right.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I just don't know how they can like do that and make it good. But we'll see. Who knows?
I kind of figured like they would probably do it in a way where obviously it makes it seem bad, you know, just like you know, just like Amazon's show. I can't remember right now. Oh, Man in the High Castle.
I haven't seen it,
It's
but
like
I know of it.
Well, it's like Nazis take over the world.
Yeah.
Like, what if happened if they won the World War II? And it's like, obviously, this is a shitty thing. I'm glad this isn't our world, you know? So it'd probably be the same type of thing.
It'd be insane if it wasn't. They're just like, Confederates won? Country's way better, dude.
This country's just way better.
Dude, country's chill, dude. It's great.
They're somehow way more advanced.
Be so bad.
No, it'd be
what
terrible.
the fuck are you guys doing? I don't know.
Terrible.
That's a dangerous choice, but whatever. We're talking Thrones.
Yeah. Anyway.
One more thing I wanted to bring up about Thrones. Did you notice the total Jurassic Park T-Rex cage that they pulled? You know the thing in Jurassic Park where the T-Rex comes out and then it's a cliff and it's like, what happened there?
Right, yeah, of course.
So that scene where Jamie's like riding at the dragon and he's gonna kill her, and he's like on a horse walking like very shallow water, gets pushed off and sinks into complete blackness. It's just like, I don't know about that one.
This deep ocean that just somehow appeared.
It's like, yeah, dude, 3 feet into this small lake, it drops off a mile. Like, there's a
it's
cliff.
just an infinite abyss.
Yeah, totally. Wasn't so sure about that one, but
I'm curious to see what your opinion is of the last or the episode you haven't seen yet.
Totally.
Because we have one episode left, you know, of this season, and then we have to wait probably a year, if not more, for the very last season. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope that they don't screw it up. You know.
Yeah, I do too. It's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it going to be a whole new season? Like, is it going to be billed as season 8, or is it going to be season 7 part 2? Do you know?
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be considered season 8, but it's another like mini series.
Yeah. I just hate when shows do part 2, and it's like half a year or a year removed. It's like, that's not a part 2. You just have short seasons. Get out of here. So I'm glad.
Yeah.
I heard that's what they were doing at first, and I'm glad that that's not the case. So.
Yeah. And more good news is the episode that you haven't seen, Beyond the Wall, that's episode 6, is actually over an hour, and the last one, the finale that's coming up, is going to be, I think, like 2 hours.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so at least they're putting more content into those episodes.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. Let's start with your watch list, Zach.
All right. What have I watched? Well, real quick, I guess one of my things I was going to talk about, keeping on the TV train, is I'm still watching that Peaks. You watched any more?
I have. I'm done with season 2.
Oh shit, dude! So you're about to watch Fire Walk with Me?
Yeah, I have to watch Fire Walk with Me, and then I'm gonna watch the new show. Yeah.
How have you been watching it?
Netflix.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you had the blue.
Yeah.
Because there's like on the Blu-ray of the show and the upcoming Criterion of Fire Walk with Me, there's like this thing called The Missing Pieces. That's like a feature-length version of the deleted scenes from Fire Walk with Me. Because I guess
cool.
in the edit of that movie, it was way longer and all the characters were in it. But, like, it's a prequel, you know? And they just narrowed it down to basically just Laura Palmer's story for the majority of the movie. Just because of length. So I'm curious to see that. I haven't seen that yet. But I was just wondering if you were.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was hoping to watch Firewalk with me on Criterion. I'm gonna probably pick that up.
You're waiting? You gonna wait?
How long is it? Is it October or is it
October?
I could probably wait. I've already missed the show at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've already missed the show. How many episodes are left?
3, which is crazy.
Wow.
Don't know how it's gonna end in 3 episodes.
So you're loving it still, right?
I'm loving it. I just am constantly surprised at how much they introduce in every episode. Still. Like,
wow.
The first, 10, I was just like, oh my God. There are, so many things going on, and they're introducing so much. And then I kept thinking, okay, this is where it's going to, just kick off from here. But still, every time, they're introducing, new characters, different storylines, new, things that you have, no idea about, or people that are, just talked about. And it's just who's that guy? Don't know. Guess maybe I'll find out the next 3 hours. Maybe I won't. You know what I mean?
Dang.
So
yeah, it's crazy.
It's definitely a little frustrating, but it also feels like it's designed to be that way. There's definitely moments of
gotcha.
Just them clearly fucking with the audience. So still loving it.
Nice. I wonder if there's gonna. Do you think there's gonna be another season after this?
I don't think so. Initially, he said that this is it. I think while I would not be disappointed because there's more to watch in it, a year or however long, that's cool. But I do think I would be a little bummed if there was more, just because I just want. You know what I mean? Thinking the whole time that this is it, and it's building to the conclusion, then going, oh no, wait another year and watch 18 more hours. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But then again, that would just mean that he was making more stuff, so that's okay. But I would almost rather him make something different, because Twin Peaks is the new one is just so completely different than what the old show was. It's barely even the same thing.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's real wild. Very strange, but very interesting. At least it's interesting. When it's at its worst, it's still interesting. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. But I'll keep on the TV train as well. I'll just start with Ozark. It's a new show on Netflix. I've watched only 4 episodes so far, but I like it. I like this show. It reminds me a lot of Breaking Bad, but more family oriented, and kind of it feels like from the start they throw you into season 4, because the very beginning you're already in the shit. There's already things going down. He's already involved in bad things, and you see him try and work his way out of that. Instead of him working his way into being in trouble, you know what I mean? So I thought that was interesting. And Jason Bateman, this is probably his best performance in anything that I've seen him in. Wow. He directs the first 2 episodes too, which is really cool. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. It looks gorgeous, especially because I'm gonna brag about it again, 4K HDR.
It's true.
Netflix. No, but it does. It looks really, really good. And it's just they're constantly ups the ante. If you like shows, like I said, Breaking Bad, where things get really intense, and not even necessarily because of actual things that happen, but just tension and really good writing and performances, Ozark is definitely worth a watch. So
hell yeah, gotta check it out.
Yeah,
I don't think I've even seen anything for it. I don't really know much about it.
Yeah, there's some stuff online them promoting it and stuff, but that's really it. But yeah, really good. Laura Linney's in it.
Nice.
I feel like there's some other stars in it, but I can't remember right now. But yeah, those are the main guys. Yeah, Ozark on Netflix, worth
Sweet.
a watch. Just pop in the first episode, see how you feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty intense. Yeah.
Nice. What else did I watch? I watched The Forbidden Zone, directed by Richard Elfman. It's the Oingo Boingo movie, basically. Danny Elfman scored it. Really looking forward to this one. Found a Blu-ray of it for cheap online, like $4. Ordered it in. Super excited to watch it, and just didn't like this thing. And it is a bummer. Just like in a big Oingo Boingo kick. I'm loving it, and like super excited to see this movie. There's all this like cool animation and like a tuxedo frog butler and all this weird stuff. And I listened to a little bit of the score. Pretty weird. Yeah, it's definitely weird, and the score is really weird, but really great. And I listened to some of that before I watched it, and then I watched it, and it's just like I did not know how trashy it was like intentionally being. Like there's women are topless the whole movie. There's like super offensive jokes against like a trans woman, and like gay jokes, and there's like a weird rape things and humping, and then there's literal people in blackface. And I was just like, yeah, don't like this. My God. Like, why the fuck is this in this movie? Like, this is a movie about like the sex stuff goes far, and they're totally going for like a John Waters thing, which just like isn't my bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just like seems like it's going far for no reason, because it's not like saying anything. And he's even said like it's just supposed to be a fun ride, just like have fun with it. And it's like, oh yeah, just like have fun with a bunch of scenes of blackface. Like what? You know what I mean? Like are you just trying to be like offensive for no reason? And it's like at least be offensive to like bring up a point or say something about it. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Just wasn't into it. Didn't like the thing. There's really cool scenes, and there's some funny stuff, and the score is great, but just couldn't get past all that gross shit that's in it for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah, it's a bummer.
It's a huge bummer.
I got one more show to talk about. Another Netflix show. The Defenders. This is the culmination of all the Marvel Netflix shows. So Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist.
Nice.
And I would say in the order that I just said them is the order they were released, and the order from best to worst. As these shows came out, they just like kind of decreased.
Yeah. Iron Fist looked pretty bad.
Iron Fist is fucking terrible, but I forced myself through it after taking a big hiatus in the middle of the show, and I was like, Defenders is coming out. I'll finish it, so I know what I'm talking about. It's a big messy poo poo. Yeah. Iron Fist is terrible. There are things that I like in it, but God, the actor who plays Iron Fist is just god awful.
He looks like a Jake Lloyd impersonator.
yeah, I guess I could see that. Finn Jones, that's his name.
It's a very
just
funny
not
name.
good. But so I was optimistic for Defenders, and I gotta say, as kind of like a critic of the show, it's not that great. It's really not. It's really cheesy. The script is flawed and just like not well written at all. Those are the main things that I don't like. And also Finn Jones, he's in it, and so he's the same and just not good.
Yeah.
The action is pretty decent. There's some cool stuff, and it's like cool seeing them interact and everything, but man, I just don't know how they fell off so hard from Daredevil, which I think is actually really good. Like, Daredevil is an amazing comic book show, and they just went downhill, man. And
damn.
I don't know. I finished it. There's only 8 episodes. I'll probably still keep watching it because I don't know. I like this shit for some reason, even if it's bad. But yeah, I'd say that I wouldn't. If you're not already into this, I wouldn't say go after it.
Yeah.
But if you're already involved, if you've seen the other Marvel Netflix shows, it's worth a watch, I guess, just to see everything kind of culminate and become one story. It's interesting
For sure. So
with
this, are they is it like a Marvel general style where they do like a season of Defenders then go back to individual seasons, or are there not going to be any more of it, or is it just Defenders from now on? Or
no, well, this is just a mini series. I think they're gonna do Defenders season 2 after they do more like individual seasons.
Okay, yeah. So it's a similar structure to like the Marvel phases or whatever.
Exactly. It's going to be like that. So I think next is The Punisher. He's having his own show. And then there's going to be Jessica Jones season 2. I think a Daredevil. There's another Iron Fist. Only reason I'm probably going to watch that one is apparently they hired a whole new writing team and showrunner. Like they just like fired everyone and like starting fresh. So maybe it'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's The Defenders. It's on Netflix. It does look good too. Another thing I really liked about it is it has this really cool like color grading theme going on. Before they all get together, they each have their own scenes separate from one another, and they're all kind of colored to that character, like one color per character. So like Jessica Jones has a purple, blue, and everything is like kind of in that tint.
Yeah.
Depending on the character, which I thought it was cool. And then when they all unite, they basically are together in this Chinese restaurant, and the first shot is like this panning shot of this Chinese restaurant's neon sign, and it's all those colors blended.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's just like kind of a cool little color theme they had.
Yeah.
It's shot pretty well with that in mind. So that's a big thing I liked about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What else I got? Oh, I saw Good Time with Robert Pattinson.
Dude. Before you start, let me just tell you, I'm really excited for this movie, and it's coming, I think, this weekend, so I'm gonna go see it.
Nice.
But I'm curious to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was great. Robert Pattinson's really good at playing just like a shithead scumbag guy, and it's shot very claustrophobic and tight, which kind of just like isn't what I necessarily like in a movie. Not that I like dislike it, but it's just like not my preferred style. So it was a little jarring at first, but I think it really plays into it throughout the movie, and they like earn that style, which is good.
Yeah.
And the score is incredible. One O Tricks Point Never, I've been a fan of for a little bit, like kind of ambient synth boy, and yeah, the score is incredible. And there's a really cool song for the credits that he does with Iggy Pop. That's great. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, new movie, Robert Pattinson, basically about him trying to get his brother out of jail, and it takes place over the course of one night. So it's him just kind of like intermixing with all these other people, streets of New York. But yeah, it's great. Big fan.
Nice, man. I've been, like I said, real excited for this, and I don't usually do this, but I listened to the score because you said it was really good, and I hear it's good. So I actually went on Spotify and listened to some of the tracks, and I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I like the score a lot. I think I'm gonna get that vinyl at some point. Ooh. But
nice.
It's a great movie. It's really watchable. I don't know how like many times I'll watch it. It's a good watch, but it's also has, it's like shitty stuff happening the whole movie. You know what I mean? It's like
Sure.
definitely intense and kind of like a downer in terms of its like worldview.
Right.
But it's not
And hard to
necessarily a
swallow.
bad thing. It's just not like a, hey, let's like, let's just like chill out, have a nice afternoon, and just watch Good Time. You know what I mean? Or maybe it is. I don't know. But it's a great movie. I liked it a lot.
Very cool. The next one I'm going to talk about is a movie that I really, really enjoy. I saw A Ghost Story.
Oh yeah.
This is my favorite film of the year so far.
Nice.
I was absolutely blown away by this movie. I went into it thinking, it'd probably be pretty decent. I went in kind of open-minded, and I had no idea that it was going to blow me away. I just love what this movie tries to do. Basically, it stars Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara. It's directed and written by David Lowery. And it's about Casey Affleck's character. He dies, and he becomes this ghost. And he kind of starts to reflect on what happens after his death, following his girlfriend, Rooney Mara, and seeing like her grief. And then it starts to become even kind of more crazy and more psychological, and he starts to like travel through time, and knowing that he's a ghost, so he's infinite, he's forever, so he starts to experience time loops and all this crazy stuff, but he still is like almost like a physical being, in the sense that he's still aware, but he's just seeing time pass. It's really interesting, and it's hard to describe beyond that, but it's really something that you just have to experience. It goes into really these universal themes about what it's like to be alive, like what it's like to be something, and what it's like to just like be like an existence, and seeing time pass. It's really good. I really like this film. What it does. The score is really good too. It has this really haunting kind of ethereal kind of feel. And what's even more interesting too is like you're following a guy that's just like with a sheet over his body, but it's not. It has funny moments because it kind of plays with that, but it doesn't take you out of it. Like you're still involved in what it's trying to say, and it just completely works. It just works.
Nice.
And it just Rooney Mara, she starts to, becomes about a film of her kind of going through grief, and her performance is outstanding. A lot of what this film does too is, like I said, goes through time, but also plays with how you are used to time in a film, and just like having time pass in general. There's a scene where you watch Rooney Mara like angrily eat a pie for like probably 10 minutes. Like it feels like 10 minutes of it's one take of Rooney Mara just like eating this pie. And I went from like, okay, like I was starting to get annoyed, and then I went to like I was just straight up angry at this movie. I was like fuck this movie. What are you doing? Like, go on, move on. What are you doing? And then I just developed into like, this is genius. This is absolutely genius. Because what it does is it sets that up to make you aware of time passing. Yeah. And you're like, you feel the time pass. And there are these grueling long takes where you're just like, you feel the time pass. It's like, that's what it would kind of be like to be a ghost of just like watching and observing,
Yeah, totally.
So I just think like from a philosophical standpoint, like it's really well done. And I can't say enough about this movie. It really is something you just have to go and like experience with an open mind, and just like be prepared to be impatient. You will be impatient, and I got angry, but at the end, like what it reveals to you is just so rewarding. that it's worth it. It's so worth it. So
I gotta check it, man.
Check it out, man. A ghost story. One more quick thing I'll say about it. The whole thing was shot 4:3. Kind of thought it was like kind of like a pretentious thing to do, but I don't know. I like it because it you know, they had to shoot it in a completely different type of framing than we see in films today.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
It's 4:3, so the framing is a lot more claustrophobic, and it plays with framing of that I haven't seen before.
Nice.
So it's just does something unique with that, and yeah, definitely worth checking out, man. You have to see this movie.
Yeah, I really want to. I gotta check it. Gotta check it for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a ghost story.
Nice.
It's still in theaters, so.
I watched Heat. Watched that baby blue of Heat.
Nice, I got that
new
too.
Dish, and it was just delightful. Just delightful. Just a delightful movie. I got some Fat Willie's Rib Shack place here. Just settled in for the long haul. Started it really late at night, and it was just like, I'm in. Let's do it. It's 11 p.m.
Nice.
Let's watch Heat. You know?
Oh my God.
It was pretty late.
There you go, dude. How's that 4K transfer looking?
The transfer looks real nice. It's a good looking boy for sure.
Yeah, it looks great.
Mikey's got it
up
down.
myself.
Those blues in that movie, the blues on that blue.
Ooh, the blues on that blue, man. Oh.
Those Mikey Man
So
blues.
tasty. Oh yeah. So, oh man, that movie's great. It's such a classic.
Awesome. I hadn't seen it in a really long time. Probably since I was in high school. So it was a really good rewatch.
I would agree. When I rewatched, I watched it probably a few months ago. I watched that the new 4K transfer, and yeah, it had been a long time for me, but it was like I had forgotten a lot of the movie.
Yeah,
I've forgotten a lot more of the movie. There's a lot more that happened that I didn't remember, so it was a great rewatch.
Totally. Bummer it's not out on UHD. I mean, come on, doing a 4K transfer.
I know. It's like you got the 4K transfer. Just put it on a 4K UHD Blu-ray. You know what I'm saying?
Michael, give me a UHD. I don't even have a 4K TV, and I want it. Like, come on.
Yeah. Excuse me, Mr. Man.
Okay, Mr. Man's amazing.
Can you go ahead and put that on a 4K Blu-ray for the rest of the world to enjoy? Because everyone else is doing it. We got all these classics coming out on 4K UHD. You got Blade Runner. You got E.T. You got The Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You got all kinds of stuff coming out.
There's a
Terminator
lot coming
2.
out.
Yeah, so, man, put it out there. You already got the transfer done.
I know.
Just put it on there.
What a bunch of schmucks. I was just checking to see if it had come out in any other countries yet, but it has not. Which is just a fucking bummer. Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
No release date, motherfuckers. What else you got, boy?
I watched another pretty good, tasty blue. This one was Blue Velvet.
Nice.
First time I ever watched it.
Oh yeah, first time watch. What'd you think, bud?
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was absolutely amazing.
It's great.
I've read up on some articles after, and it just like things how it clearly was an influence for a lot of films like in the 90s, like Quentin Tarantino. Very interesting to see that, and like you can see the influence. It feels like a pre-Quentin Tarantino film. It does. Like it's nuts. But yeah, it's a film by David Lynch that I really enjoyed. It's probably my favorite of his, actually, that I've seen. And nice. I to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of his movies, and I'm trying to, probably because I've been watching Twin Peaks. I'm kind of going through a Lynch fest, and I want to watch more of his stuff. And Like Mulholland Drive, I never finished it. I want to finish that. Rewatch it. I gotta watch this stuff. But yeah, Blue Velvet, real good movie. Really dark kind of mystery film. That got everything right, I think.
Yeah. Kyle's great. Denny Hops is great.
Oh, Denny Hops is so good.
Yeah, I love that Denny Hops.
Yeah, he's a crazy mofo in that, man. Yeah, we're just a good, solid kind of mystery thriller that totally plays like a Lynch film, but it's the very best of Lynch to me.
It's real good. I don't know. I'd say it's definitely one of his best. I don't know if it's I think I might like Mulholland Drive. I think Mulholland Drive maybe is my favorite. But
oh, really?
I don't think
I gotta watch
it's a thing though where like it's interchangeable. It's like it's not like someone says that one's the best. It's very understandable. It's clearly one of his best movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
But yeah.
Yeah. What else you got?
It's a good one. Go down the list, bud. What else you got on there to watch?
Oh,
David Lynch
you
list.
done with yours? Oh, on David Lynch list. Here, man. Let me pull up the filmography. Well, Fire Walk with Me. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Mulholland Drive, of course. I haven't finished it. I watched half of it. I've never seen Dune.
Dude, Dune's good. I like Dune.
There's a lot of hate for Dune. But
a lot of hate for Dune. And it's honestly, it's super long, but there's stuff in there that's fantastic.
I gotta check it, man.
Gotta check it.
I've seen Elephant Man. I've seen Eraserhead, which I really like. I own Eraserhead. What's another big one? Wild at Heart. Lost Highway. Never seen.
Wild at Heart. Have you seen?
Nope. Never seen that.
That one's good.
Those are kind of the main ones, right?
Yeah. Then there's Straight Story, which I think is one of his best movies. I really like that one.
Never seen that.
Made it for Disney. It's like very wholesome. It's just like a very wholesome family.
Oh, that's
movie.
Interesting.
It's amazing. It's so good.
Which one's that?
The Straight Story.
The Straight Story.
It's about an old man who finds out his brother's sick, and he drives his ride-on lawnmower across like the state or something to cross the west or to find him. I forget the distance, but
interesting. What about
it's great.
What about Inland Empire?
Inland Empire, I absolutely hated when it came out. When I was in high school, I was like, "This movie's stupid. Why is David Lynch shooting on DV? This is dumb." Like, just hated it. But I like turned it off, and I also wasn't as into him then. But rewatched it, probably like 6 years ago, like right when I moved to Chicago. I got on a big Lynch kick, and really liked it a lot. It's great. Super weird.
As I would expect.
Yeah.
Gotta check it, man. So, cool.
It's all good.
That's the future. Future list.
Yep. Let's see what else I got.
Want to do one more each?
Sure. I watched Largent, or Money, by Robert Bresson. It's a crit. Picked it up at the sale. It's like about basically a forged bill in Paris that starts with this like boy who like asks for allowance and then doesn't get it, and then his friend is like, "We'll spend this." They spend it at like a frame store, and then they catch it after they leave and think it's someone else, and it's basically just like goes down the rabbit hole of consequences that all stemmed from this use of this forged bill.
Yeah.
And basically just about like one guy and how his life essentially gets like ruined from this happening.
Really?
And it's really good. I liked it a lot. It looks really great. I really like the staging of the scenes and the blocking and stuff. And just also an interesting concept. It wasn't as from what I had heard, because I didn't want to read super into the plot before I saw it, but I thought it was going to be more traveling with it the whole time, like from person to person, and it kind of like travels to a point, but then like shows the repercussions of what happened, and then kind of like goes through that, which was interesting, and I wasn't necessarily expecting. But yeah, just a real good movie, very solid.
Nice, nice. That's Largent or Money?
Yeah, well, it's Largent, but translates to money.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Interesting. All right. Very cool. Last one I'll talk about, I watched yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Little Wind River.
Wind River.
Wind River. This was the directorial debut of Taylor Sheridan. He first time director, but writer of things like Sicario and
oh yeah
and I'm drawing a blank right now. The western that just came out, Hell or High Water.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he wrote those films. This was the first one he wrote and directed. And I went into this movie really wanting to love this movie. It just looked like kind of up my alley, just like a real solid film, because I'm a fan of the other ones. I think Hell or High Water was a little overhyped for me. It was okay film, and I really love Sicario. So
yeah, Sicario is amazing.
So I went in kind of thinking it'd be similar lines, and it is, in the sense that it is almost the same characters and same story structure beats as these other films. That he doesn't seem to be writing anything else other than these characters and just putting them in new environments, which I find is okay, but it just felt kind of too familiar. And these are things that have been taken before by like far superior directors, like Denis Villeneuve for Sicario. He's an experienced director, so he's able to take this material and kind of morph it and make it really work for the screen. And I kind of just felt his script on the screen, and like it just felt like everything was very scripted, and it just didn't feel quite right to me. Some of the a lot of the dialogue in the first half of the movie is really just like, this is written from a script, like it just didn't feel natural. And to the actors' credits, mainly to Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen, all that said, like, they are fantastic in this movie. Like, they're really good actors, and they're acting their fucking asses off. Elizabeth Olsen is she's great. Jeremy Renner, he's a fucking like Hollywood veteran on the screen. But the things that they're saying and the things that their like characters are actually doing, like don't quite like work for me. And I don't know. I just felt like it just needs some tightening or something. Like it just felt off. Yeah. Like there were these scenes that would play off, and I'm just like, that doesn't quite feel natural or realistic. And despite Elizabeth Olsen's great acting, her casting as this character of just like this FBI agent who's brought into this basically icy fucking hellhole to deal with this murder case, it just like, why would they send her? It's not a realistic casting to me. Maybe because she's just like too attractive or just like too young. I don't know. Like it didn't work. It didn't work for me. But she still acted her fucking ass off, and she did a great job for what she was given. Jeremy Renner kind of plays this like kind of this hard hunter who he like takes place in this Indian reservation, and he's basically this hunter that kills all these predators that try to kill their livestock. So he's like this hunter and kind of like this tracker, and he finds like this body of this young girl in the snow who's been murdered, and that's what the whole movie's about, like trying to figure this out. so it gets to this point where I was like not quite feeling it, but I was like hoping something would happen, and then it does. The climax is actually really good. It's really intense. You're just like, oh shit. I was immediately on the edge of my seat, and that's definitely the most effective part of the film is like the climax. Well, I won't give it away, but there's a very high tension moment that's actually very effective. So I just wish like if that moment was kind of spread out through the rest of the movie, like you'd have something pretty solid. It's just like it's almost there, and that's almost like more frustrating, you know, like
Totally.
the film is almost there, but it doesn't quite get it. But yeah, in the end I still like this movie, and I almost feel like I need to see it again. Some other things that it gets right is it really puts you in this harsh environment of these cold mountains. It's almost used like the environment's like kind of like a character in itself. You feel like you're like in the middle of nowhere, like it's very fucking cold, and just like it is all about survival in these mountains on this Indian reservation. So that's really effective. And the music was interesting. It was partially done by Nick Cave.
Oh, whoa, cool.
Yeah. So I like some of the stuff there. And it totally reminded me of his score of the Western that he did in
Proposition.
Australia. Yeah, Proposition. I didn't know that he did the score, so I was like, this sounds like the Proposition score. And sure enough, the credits said Nick Cave. I was like, yep, that makes sense.
Was it him and Warren Ellis?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. I'll look it up right now.
Cool.
I just saw Nick Cave, and I'm like, yep.
Yeah, love that Nick boy.
Yep,
I know
Warren
he
Ellis.
He scored, what am I saying? Hell or High Water too. I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, he did. Which makes sense. That's also a Taylor Sheridan thing. That's cool. I forgot that. Yeah, this was totally a Nick Cave, and overall the score is like pretty decent. But then there's some moments where he throws some lyrics in there, like he did with Proposition, and like some of it works and some of it just like does not work. Like it just does not work. Like, don't put these lyrics in there right now, man. Like it just feels like they just like put a song in that. It's just weird.
I got you.
But overall, did a pretty decent job setting the tone, and yeah, again, it's just parts of the script that really threw me off, and I just like while I was watching it, it didn't click until that climax scene, and then the conclusion's iffy, but I don't know. I'd still say it's worth a watch. I think there's still like a good chunk of stuff to like in this film, definitely with the cast and just like some of the talent behind the camera. But yeah, I was just a tiny bit disappointed.
I got you. That's a bummer.
Yeah, that's Wind River. Yeah, I did like it. I just little less than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
fair enough.
So, all right. So I think that wraps up our watch lists.
It's true.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I'm already feeling these beers.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling this Sangani.
Oh my god,
Pouring them fat.
strong stuff, man. So, I guess let's get to our review of Logan Lucky.
Let's get into the Lucky Boy.
Jimmy, I'm just gonna say it. I gotta let you go.
You were just fired.
I was let go for liability reasons involving insurance.
The one-armed bartender.
You need to show a little respect. Charlotte Motor Speedway. I know how they move the money.
The only guy who knows anything about blowing up real bank vaults is Joe Bang.
I am in car
incarcerated.
Yeah, we got a plan to get you out.
The Coca-Cola 600 is the biggest race of the year.
We need a computer whiz.
I know everything there is to know about computers, okay? All the Twitters, I know them.
Welcome to the Coca-Cola 600.
Now, how many yards away is the vault?
20 yards. I don't know, maybe 30.
Is it 20 or is it 30? We are dealing with science here.
That was from the trailer of Logan Lucky, the new film by our good old boy, great good boy, Steven Soderbergh. It stars Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, and I can't say her name, Riley Keough? Is that her name?
I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Yeah, it's something strange, but I believe she's the granddaughter of Elvis Presley.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. She was also in Mad Max.
Oh, yeah?
Mad Max Fury Road, yeah.
Fury Road, dude.
So there I go. So, Zach, what'd you think of Logan Lucky?
I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun with it. I had, like, minor complaints, but overall, I thought it was just really fun. And that's what it was like trying to be. I felt like it wasn't necessarily like a big like Soderbergh's back. Here's some like you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
But it was very much I feel like in line with what he was doing right before he stopped making movies, where it was just like taking a movie that I wouldn't necessarily expect him to do or wouldn't necessarily be interested in otherwise, and just like making it his own and like more interesting essentially than it could have been in the hands of someone else.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I thought this movie was really fun. I enjoyed it. I like you said, I don't think it's like anything like super outstanding, like oh my god, he's back. But it's just like a good, solid, kind of fun, entertaining comedy heist film in the vein of Ocean's 11, 12, 13. But it's kind of like the redneck Ocean's 11. You know what I mean? I thought that was fun. There's some minor quips I have with it. Everything doesn't quite realistically make sense, but I think it's just about the ride. And at the end, it's like I had a good time. So I'd say it's a success.
It definitely felt like they were just like having fun with it at certain points. And there were jokes that were hysterical. Like I was dying laughing at certain points. But yeah, just like a good filmography movie for him, and with some really good performances. Like Daniel Craig is amazing.
Oh, he does a great job.
Daniel Craig's amazing. I really liked Adam Driver as well. I mean, everyone was good in it. Like I would say the only performance that I wasn't crazy about was probably Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I feel like that whole thing is kind of like my main issue with the movie, which I guess we can get it. Are we doing spoilers for this? What's the deal?
No, we're gonna do a separate spoilers.
Yeah. Okay, but we're doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna do spoilers later. But Seth MacFarlane, he plays kind of the villain role in this. He's kind of just like this asshole, famous race car driver. He was British. I felt like it was a pretty interesting role for him to play. I kind of respect him for like doing this kind of smaller antagonistic part. But yeah, I mean, he still bothered me, and maybe that's kind of the purpose, because you're meant to dislike him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll get more into spoilers about why we probably don't like him later. But yeah, it just really, this movie is about the characters, and it's about the actors. I think the really funny dialogue and interactions between them, I found a lot of entertainment value in. Like Channing Tatum and Adam Driver, who play brothers. Some of their dialogue scenes kind of reminded me of like a Coen Brothers movie.
Oh, totally.
Did you get that vibe? Yeah, I totally got the vibe, and which I was totally digging. Adam Driver kind of playing this really dumb Southern guy. It was just very entertaining, and yeah.
But I liked that
I liked
also they weren't necessarily like stupid. Like they had a pretty intelligent plan. You know what I mean?
Very fair. That's very fair to say, because it's actually a very, very smart plan, and they know what they're doing. Yeah.
Because I was a little worried about when it was starting about them just like basically like making fun of people from around there, and I didn't really feel like it ever like dipped into that. Like there were people who were obviously stupid, like those like Daniel Craig's brothers or whatever, but it's like no more than anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or if this movie was anywhere, it's like those characters. It didn't portray everyone as, you know, stereotypical redneck person, which I liked.
Yeah, totally. I agree. Yeah, I mean, those are probably the most extreme ones, but they were just like dumb people. So, but yeah, like their plan, how they tried to execute this heist is actually really well thought out, and yeah, there's a lot I can talk about in spoilers, but
yeah, I do think some of the things depended on, they left some stuff up to chance, kind of. That, like, it's convenient that it worked out that way.
Totally.
But I also really liked, I don't think this is necessarily a spoiler, but that there isn't like the sequence of here's the plan. You know what I mean? And then it's like, this is what we're going to do. We're going in through here. You're going to meet us here. And then we're doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't lay it out for you. And then they kind of have that sequence, but just with no narration. And you're just like watching it happen. And you
watch the plan actually executed. Yeah.
Which I really liked that a lot, because I felt like, I mean, he's obviously done some heist movies. There's obviously a lot of heist movies, and that's always like kind of a staple for it. So I liked not knowing what the plan is. I thought that was like a nice little thing to pop in there.
Yeah, I didn't really. Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but that's a really good. That's a really good evaluation, because maybe that's why I was kind of more satisfied with it, because it was a little unconventional in the sense that it didn't really have those cliche moments, but it still kind of followed along the same path of just like a classic heist movie.
Totally.
So, yeah. I don't know if there's a lot we can talk about in non-spoilers. They'll probably have a larger spoiler section.
Yeah. I liked the pace.
Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I thought the pacing was really good, and I thought for a movie like this, it's usually pretty like rapid fire, quick cut, lots of music, lots happening, it's moving quick, and they kind of just took their time with it, which I really liked, because I felt it goes back to the thing of like him taking an idea and just like making it his own, even though it's not necessarily like a super original idea, kind of like making a heist movie like this, but then doing it in a slightly different way, but that's still digestible.
Yeah.
And I think they balance that well, because there's hills and valleys and like peaks, and there's like big like sequences where it's like cross cutting and there's music, but also it doesn't necessarily like rush to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I like the pacing a lot too. It just felt like it's a really enjoyable watch. It's
totally.
Actually a good movie to pop in and kind of just like enjoy, because it's got this like nice frenetic like kind of pacing. That's just a lot of fun, and just it's lighthearted, and I don't know. It's just like, I actually don't have a lot of negative things to say about this movie, because it just and it's not even necessarily like incredible either. It's just like just a real solid, just like entertaining piece of film, you know?
It's a movie that knows its goals and like accomplishes them. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's trying to be a fun heist movie, and then it comes out and it is one. And it's
that.
Like, this is just a funny heist movie that's like looks really good. And it was shot there were a lot of really cool shots, and it was interesting. It wasn't he definitely was like going for it visually, it seemed like.
Yeah, totally. And it fit the story too. It didn't feel out of place in any way, but it looked good.
Totally.
some of the things that they do along this plan is like just really kind of just interesting, how they're able to do it, and just like they do unique things that you wouldn't expect, to keep you kind of interested in like the plan of what's going on.
For sure.
And then there's a moment we'll talk about more later, but there's a moment where it kind of throws it back at you, and you see basically a different side of the story, and I didn't expect that at all.
Totally.
But yeah.
Should we just jump in? Should we just dive on into the deep end?
Let's dive in. We're going to spoilers right now.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You certain?
No.
This is gonna be good.
Seen that? Seen what? I need you to focus here. This woman needs containing.
How goes it? Now there are no ones. How do you think it's going?
That looks like it hurt. Hopefully you'll have beginner's luck getting it into first.
A little intense for the kids, ain't it? No, they love it. Sugar plus potassium chlorate. It's very complex.
Run! Let's blow this thing.
I liked how it ended. I liked how everything kind of wrapped up. Well, I thought it wasn't going to wrap up nicely. I thought like, oh shit, he leaves this money, and I was like, oh, I wonder why he did that. But then it goes back in a completely natural kind of organic way of showing you his full plan of how he actually paid everyone off. And I kind of like where it ends. It doesn't feel too unsatisfactory. It kind of leaves it open, but also it leaves you in a place where you're like, I was entertained, and they kind of accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, and that's fine,
Yeah. I do think Hilary Swank being at the bar at the end, like the staging of like the very last scene was a little weird, and it kind of threw me off right when I left. But then thinking about it more, it very much felt like just like a 80s 90s comedy thing to do. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And I feel like in a lot of ways this movie was kind of like falling into that in a nice way. Just like really going for like the feel of just like, this is a comedy. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Which is nice, which I really liked. But yeah, I guess my main issue with the movie is Seth MacFarlane and whatever the guy who plays Bucky in Winter Soldier.
Stan Sebastian.
Yeah. And not because like I think Seth MacFarlane's performance is a little much comparatively to everyone else in the movie. He's cranked up a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he looks hilarious, but I think his look is funnier than, you know what I mean? So it's like whatever.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they weren't in the movie enough. Like I just wanted to see them a little more in order to just like justify them being in it.
I definitely agree about that, and that was one of my quotes I was going to mention too. Is like Stan Sebastian, especially, is like such a talent, upcoming talent, because he's known for right now as being Winter Soldier for Avengers, and he's a pretty good actor. And I feel like he was kind of wasted. He was like the star NASCAR kind of guy next to what's his face's character? I'm sorry, drawing a blank. The guy we just talked about.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane. Yeah. Thank you. Like they're co-drivers, and but you see Stan Sebastian's like cardboard cutout in the gas station that Adam Driver drives through. So it's like just on that, and based in the trailer too, and seeing that, I thought he'd just like play like a lot larger role.
Totally.
And he's introduced, and then you don't really see him again, and that's it. Like he's just very much a minor character, more so than I think it needed to be. But so yeah, I would have liked to see more of him, more of Seth MacFarlane kind of turned down a little bit. Like this isn't Family Guy, so just chill. And yeah, and just kind of see that play out a little smoother. But that's just like that's such a minor thing to nitpick, you know?
And it's like, I don't think they should get cut out of the movie either, because I gotta say that first scene where they introduce Stan Sebastian is like the funniest thing ever. Like, I was dying during that when he's like doing yoga and stuff, and he's like, my body, what is he talking about? Like, his body's a computer and food is software. It is hysterical. It is so funny. I was all about it.
Yeah, totally. I liked his character a lot, like the idea of his character.
And then him like not wanting to drink the energy drink, and then like makes him do it. Like, it's super funny. I definitely like that storyline. And it was just weird because it's like, that's really, they introduced him, and then there's that little storyline that's kind of going on, and then that's really it for him. He's just kind of like in it, you know?
That's it. Yeah.
And I get the whole thing about Seth MacFarlane, them beating him up, and then him seeing him there and connecting him, but I don't know. It just felt like there needs to be a little more, like, cut back to him a little more, or like have them like cut to them like preparing before the race or something. You know what I mean? Just needed like maybe 2 more scenes of them, even if they're super quick, just to kind of even it out a little. But yeah,
I would agree. I would agree completely. I thought the one person we haven't really mentioned was the little girl, the daughter.
She was great.
Yeah, she did a good job. I thought she played her
good.
role. Yeah, I liked that. I kind of liked how she was like how smart she was, and like how she totally knew everything about just like cars and like and just like was just so smart in general. Thought that was interesting. You definitely get some like stereotypes in here, you know, but it's like played in like a classy way to where it's like completely believable, you know. You know, I've been raised in the South, and I wouldn't say that this is like making fun of those people or even like characterizing or like making like a cartoon out of them. It's like these feel like pretty real people, and I mean, that's how it is, man. And yet they're still like are able to pull off this like really big heist in a really smart way. And yeah, it's just make it a lot of fun in the process. So
yeah, because it has a certain endearing quality to its characters that I think if wasn't there would be a little problematic. You know what I mean? Just because then it seems like you're like poking fun, which I didn't really get that vibe.
Yeah, it's kind of even just like an interesting thing of having like Adam Driver's character with one arm. Yeah, like a one-armed bartender. It's really just like it's like a funny thing to throw in there, but it totally works. And just like having Daniel Craig, this James fucking Bond, play a redneck is hilarious to see that play out, and him do it so well too. Like this hardened prisoner, kind of just like redneck is so funny.
Getting the salt out of his sock is hysterical, and eating the hard-boiled eggs is really funny. Big fan of that.
Yeah.
He was so funny in the movie. I thought he was great. I love the thing of them with the bomb that doesn't go off and it comes back, and then it like cuts to him like drawing out
on the
science
chalkboard.
And explaining it, and then they get it, and he's like, "Oh, I know what it is," and just like twists it. Is it too tight or too loose? I don't.
It was too tight. It was too tight. So he like loosened it. Yeah, he loosened the bag, and like put it back in. The bomb went off. Like that was so funny. Like he wrote out the equation on. So funny.
Yeah, it's great.
Channing Tatum, man, too, and just like bringing a little attention to Channing Tatum. He's a good guy. He's a good boy.
Yeah, he's great.
Like he's kind of like a Justin Timberlake to me, to where I want to dislike him, but I can't. He's too good.
Yeah, he's great.
Just too good. I can't dislike him. He's just too good.
It's like, yeah, you fucking hunk. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know. You're pretty good. Come on, man.
You're just really talented. I have to respect
that. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So is this Steven Soderbergh's last film? I kind of
don't
heard
know.
a rumor that
I
this
think
was
he's just
his
back
last
now.
movie.
Well, he's got another movie that he already shot on his iPhone secretly or something that he's editing. So already another one coming.
What an interesting guy, you know?
Yeah, he's great.
Here's a guy who's just like a fucking, just like a literal jack of all trades. Like he's done everything, and he's just directed these like fucking great movies, like these really big movies, you know? Mm-hmm. And they're all different. They're all completely different.
Yeah, and it's like he's done like super star-studded big stuff like the Ocean's movies, and then he's made movies like Bubble that are just like super small and real fucking weird. It's great.
Yeah. And like Magic Mike and fucking one of my favorite shows of all time, The Nick.
Oh my god, The Nick is just too good.
It's
just
amazing.
Too good.
It's amazing. And it's weird too, because like I don't feel like there's really any connective tissue between them. Like I don't feel like he has like a singular kind of voice, which I think is a good thing. You know, like he almost doesn't have a stamp. He has a certain stamp, definitely.
I feel
in
like he
films.
has a visual stamp.
But I mean, like
for sure.
Yeah, you think over all his movies, there's one connective kind of tissue?
Not over all his movies, but I think he's grown into a pretty distinct visual style.
Interesting.
Like at least since like he went digital and he's like shooting on reds. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I feel like I can tell the look.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
you're probably right.
But the voice of the movies is so different every time.
Yeah.
That it's like, and it's not exactly the same. Like obviously, like I feel like Logan Lucky's pretty like locked off and real classy moves and stuff, and then the Nick is like so much handheld and crazy stuff like that. So it's like, it's not exactly the same, but I do think there's like a visual through line. You know what I mean? At least to his more recent work.
Yeah, I think the Nick kind of also has like more like a soft focus kind of look to it too.
Mm-hmm.
Shallow focus. Logan Lucky kind of has everything in focus. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can see it. I feel like the voice really, to me, is what probably speaks louder to me. This was definitely like the same voice as his Ocean's 11 voice, but it wasn't the same as. Well, maybe it's similar to Magic Mike, but it's not the same as the Nick. It's not the same as over half of his other fucking movies that he's done.
Yeah, it's got
a ton,
man.
Like Traffic.
Yeah.
Or
The Limey.
The Limey. Yeah, there's just so much.
Just cranking them out, man. I hope he gets back to it. Just fucking cranking out multiple movies a year. It's my dream.
He's not even old. He's not even old, dude. Just like, come on, keep cranking. Like, also, Side Effects, The Informant.
Yeah.
You know,
those
are all different, dude. Solaris, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, those are big movies. Haywire. Contagion.
Awesome. Contagion's awesome.
I wasn't a big fan of Contagion, personally.
Didn't like it?
I didn't like the ending at all. I hated the ending.
Oh, okay.
But there's moments in every one of his movies that I definitely find enjoyment in. He's a very talented director. But yeah, it's really cool. It's just like, as a fan of him too, to just like come see a movie that's just like, you know, here's a film that he decided to make. Not a big deal. Just another one on the fucking filmography.
Yeah.
That just works, and I don't have any like complaints about. Like,
yeah, just well done.
It's well done. Had fun. It's hilarious. Great cast. Looks good. There's nothing really else to say. Chill, Dad. You know?
Yeah. No, it's great. I had a lot of fun with it, and probably be watching it right when it comes out on Blue again, and just be popping it in repeatedly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're gonna pick it up on the Blue?
Oh, I'm picking it up on that blue for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Gotta pick up that blue, boy.
You got to. I got to. Yeah.
So
yeah,
what do you think?
I guess we'll go ahead and rate it. I can't think of anything else. It's just a good, solid film.
Yeah.
But it's not even like crazy extraordinary. It's just like it's good. Nothing really bad wrong with it. Probably give it 4 stars.
Yeah, I'm going 4. I think too. Heavy 4.
Heavy 4.
I think on a rewatch could pop up to a 4.5. We'll see though. For right now.
Yeah, it could be like a continuous, viewing type of film where it just gets better and better with age.
Exactly.
You know?
But right now I'm sitting at a rock solid, very heavy 4.
Yeah, I'd give it a 4 just because, for all the reasons we said.
Yeah.
It's not like crazy, groundbreaking, extraordinary. Just a good, solid, fun watch. You can pop it anytime. Just have a good time watching it.
Totally.
And we don't have, honestly, we don't got a lot of movies like that coming out anymore.
Yeah, which is why
Just
it's nice. It's kind of filling the void
nice.
of like good comedies. Because like, when's the last really good comedy that came out?
Yeah, I know. Like what? Nice Guys, maybe?
Yeah, I guess. Like, that's crazy.
That's just the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a bummer. It's like there's been no good comedies since that movie came out. What? That's crazy.
Yeah, just like classy comedies. It's not even a breath of complete fresh air. It's something that's just been lacking, It's kind of a breath of air, something we haven't had in a while. It's something that's just like, it's also new, but it's also something a little familiar that just works. And,
totally.
It's real nice. Definitely worth a watch for anyone that has ever seen any of his films or just like wants to see like a real good, just like solid comedy that's just not like stupid fart jokes and shit, like not complete utter empty comedy, which is when comedies come out now. I feel like it's like that. This is a smart comedy, entertaining heist movie that I feel like anyone who watches it can enjoy.
Yeah. It's very accessible and digestible, but it does stuff like different enough where it's not like just the same old thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Flips it on its head a little bit, makes it different, but still makes it that kind of like familiar heist vibe and like evokes that sort of like comedy feeling, like classic comedy stuff, and really liked it about it.
There we go. That's a review of Logan Lucky. It's in theaters right now. Go check it out. But for now, we're going to conclude this episode of the podcast. As always, you can find all of our episodes on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube. We're also on Facebook and Twitter at LTURAM Podcast. And you can email us at listentousrant@movies@gmail.com. Thank you to our new producer, Sean Pierce, for subscribing to our podcast and becoming a patron. You too can be a producer and supporter of this podcast by visiting our Patreon page and becoming a monthly patron for as little as $1. And you can do that by visiting www.patreon.com/LTURAM podcast. Zach, that's going to conclude our episode this week. It's a great time with you, man. And
time, boy.
I'm feeling good after these beers.
Yeah, I am too.
You still like your drink?
Oh yeah, I'm liking the Singani. It's going down smooth.
Singani, check it out. You can order it online, I believe.
Yeah, pick up that Singani 63. It's good. It's good stuff.
And I would highly recommend this too, the Motorworks Indie IPA. Good stuff. Zach, until next time, buddy. It was a great time.
Until next time.